Hello everyone and welcome to today's episode of Music Mentality. Today I have Melody Cruz, she, her pronouns. Today we will be talking about how Melody has made it in the music world as a woman and the struggles that have come up with being a woman, particularly being a woman in the music industry. Melody has also auditioned for shows like American Idol quite a few times, so she's here to talk about her experience with those shows. Melody is this young, vibrant, beautiful woman, and I am so excited for you guys to hear more about her. This is just a reminder that this episode will include themes of depression, anxiety, ADHD, and self-harm. How are you?
I'm good. How are you? Thank you for having me on here. Seriously.
Oh my God. Of course. I came across your your TikTok, and I was like, oh my God, I need to reach out to this girl.
Oh my God. I'm glad. No, and I checked out the way that you conduct your interviews and just I love your vibe too. I'm really excited about this.
Oh, thank you. Oh my God. Okay. Honestly, let's just start off with that. What was your American Idol experience like?
Oh man. Well, I've auditioned for American Idol probably, I think it's 13 times. We stood in line for hours. And then it's they put you in groups of 4 people and you're just in front of this 1 or 2 producer people and you sing for 30 seconds and then they're like, all right, next. It's just it's kind of dehumanizing almost the way it is. It's they don't give you any real feedback. They don't care. And they're okay with the fact that there's hundreds or sometimes even thousands of people coming to try out for them, spending an entire day of their life standing outside in either really cold weather or really hot weather. And they don't treat you like you're a real person, really, when you audition for them.
So what prompted you to keep trying again? Obviously it's not an amazing experience when they're so heartless almost.
They are. I think what kept prompting me, honestly, is ego. Honestly, I think to a certain extent, and that's just full transparency. It's just I think I was no, they keep rejecting me, but I can do this. I'm not going to let American Idol or The Voice or any of those shows tell me that I'm shitty at what I do. I was just all right, I'm just going to keep going back. And I tried a whole bunch more times, the same experience every time. I think the most progress I've made at any of those auditions were a couple times at American Idol and a couple times at The Voice. They were do you have another song? And this is in the initial cattle call audition. And I would be yeah, I have another song. And then I would sing that. And the one time for The Voice, I got a maybe. They were we're going to take down your phone number. And if we're between you and another similar singer that we saw today, so we'll call you by 5 or 6 p.m. or something like that and let you know if you made it. So I'm there by the phone every 2 seconds, waiting to hear something. Yeah. And they don't even call to be no, you didn't get it.
Oh my God. That's awful. That's so anxiety inducing to be waiting for a call that might never happen.
That's what I'm saying. At least it was only a day that you had to wait like that. But at the same time, it's just every single time I went, I always told myself this is gonna be the time. Every time I've tried out, I've tried to do a different approach. I've tried to say, okay, this time I'm gonna go and singing a pop song. This time I'm gonna go and doing rock. And I've tried to do so many different creative things and dress funky and just do anything that you can think of. I've watched YouTubers being I got into the first round of American Idol. This is how it happened. And trying to prepare, I wasted too much time and energy on this for sure. Cause I think at this point I've officially accepted, and this is why I'm so comfortable trashing them. At this point, I've accepted that is not my path, those reality shows. But I also think that a lot of people don't know what it's like to try out for them. A lot of people think that it's just you go in front of Simon Cowell on TV in the blue room, and it's no, that's not how it works. You go through hell to do that. And I know a couple people in the industry who have gotten decently far and even made it to in front of the judges, and everybody just says it's hell and it's not worth it, and you get stuck in these contracts. I think at this point I'm counting it as a blessing in disguise and being thank God I didn't get in.
Oh my God. I'm like, it makes me so happy that you're also one of those people who sees a fork in the road as a blessing in disguise. Like, it is a blessing in disguise, because the way I like to see it is that if this isn't for you, then there's something even better for you, which is so exciting.
Yes. Because
Yes.
that's one thing I never understood. Seeing like the people even on that make it on TV and then they get sent home in like Hollywood Week and they're like, oh my God, this was all for nothing. My life is over. And I'm always like, but why? Like, you can still go home and do something else.
Yeah.
There's so many other ways to get your music out there and get your voice heard than those shows.
Oh yeah. And being able to
it.
like learn from your experience and use that experience to better yourself, better your career. That is success on its own right there.
And that's exactly right too, because it's like a lot, especially today, I feel like in the music industry, it's switching over from the labels and this to independent artists who the world actually gets to decide who they want to listen to. Like Billie Eilish, I think, is like one of the first real, like, of our time, like people that were just came up out of their bedroom, basically making music. And Olivia Rodrigo, I mean, she had her little start on Disney too. That helped her. But at the same time, like, she got to where she is, the magnitude of where she is, because she just wrote songs in her room and just recorded it and put it out there.
Oh, that just gave me chills, because it's true. I actually want to take a step back and go to the idea that it was your ego that pushed you forward.
Yeah, okay.
So whenever we talk about the ego, people always are like, oh, like, you have such a big ego, calm down kind of thing. And like, ego is always portrayed in such a bad light. But I don't necessarily always think that having a big ego or, you know, focusing on your ego is always bad. I think that there's some advantages that come to it too. Like, obviously a very, very big ego will have its cons as well, might push people away, but there are also many, many advantages that come from it. So for example, for you, it pushed you forward. It continued to push you forward. And honestly, maybe you were discouraged along the way. Don't get me wrong. It's totally normal to be, but I mean, you're here. You're still here. You're still making music. You're still putting yourself out there. And like, I feel like you got your ego to thank for that.
I do. No, you're right. I mean, I think I do have a little bit of an ego, and that doesn't mean it's a bad thing. And not in like a way that I think I'm better or whatever, but it's like, I think that there's certain things that I need to achieve or that I want to achieve, and I'm going to keep pushing for it. And I don't care if, like, 10,000 people out of, however many people see my stuff at any given time on TikTok say like, oh, you're too much, you're too loud, you're too bold, you're just too much in general. Like, I don't care. I just got to keep going. The ego, having a little bit of ego is not a bad thing. It just means that you know what you deserve. You're confident in your talent or your abilities or what you have to offer to the world. And I encourage anybody listening to this, especially if you're a girl, don't let people tell you that you're too big, you're taking up space. Have a little bit of an ego. If you do something with an expectation of something in return, then it just cancels out the fact that you did it in the first place. It makes it like a null point. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh my God. I want to talk about your biggest accomplishment in your music career so far. What do you think that is?
I would say Too Late, my debut single, but also maybe performing my first festival over the summer, which was Music Fest. Too Late, like the fact that I wrote, recorded, like my dad helped me produce it, but I also like co-produced it, released it, everything myself, my own single, and it's out there in the world. I'm proud of that. But I'm also proud of performing my first festival because that's the first time that like I wasn't performing a gig that was just like a restaurant where I'm like in the background and like I'm not the main focus. Like that was the first time that people were coming to see me. Like it was my show. It wasn't like I'm playing in the background of this restaurant for like ambiance. And I think that doing that was also a big first step. So
that's honestly, those are very, very big accomplishments, and congratulations on that. Also, I remember you mentioning that reality shows aren't your path. So one thing that I see very often with people is they're like, oh, like, I really want to be a singer. And, they keep getting rejected, or it's not working out, or they have writer's block, or they're not getting followers and stuff. And they're like, okay, maybe this isn't my path. And when they say this isn't my path, they mean singing isn't their path anymore. But they don't take into account that there's a million different paths to the same destination.
Oh yeah. If you're passionate about music and you work towards your craft, you probably you do probably have it. But also nowadays, and this is just it's a hard pill to swallow, but it's an important one. Becoming something in music is more about the voice. You have to market yourself. If you're not succeeding in the way that you're trying to do things right now by just posting covers, or you're just doing one thing, you gotta experiment with other things. And that's what I'm still doing it. I'm still putting different little things out every week and seeing what does well, and then whatever does well, do a little bit more of that. And it's a trial and error. You don't want to be on your deathbed one day and be like, wow, what if I would have just actually done it? I think about that a lot. And I know people say that all the time, but it is true. And it is true. And it's like, just keep going, find a different avenue. We need to be okay with identifying and accepting our weaknesses, because we all have them. Because if we can identify our weaknesses, we can find ways to even kind of make them into a positive. There's a million different kind of people in the world. We don't need another, carbon copy of the celebrities out there today. Bring something new. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm trying to do. Bring something new.
Yes, I'm finding more and more, and I'm loving this era of music and creating that. The more unapologetically yourself you are, the more successful you will be. Do not conform to a cookie cutter shape. You are your own beautiful little cookie.
That's what I'm saying. And I gotta say, TikTok is think about it. We wouldn't be having this interview right now if it wasn't for TikTok.
That's so true.
We wouldn't, because we would have never known each other. We would have never just run into each other. And I've met online so many awesome people, both musicians and other interviewers, and people who play instruments, and people who write, and people who draw. I've just chatted and followed back and had rapport with all these different people. And it's incredible. It's almost I feel I have little connections with different parts of the world now. Just people I would have never probably encountered in real life, just because, how often do we really travel all around like that, but now we have access to everything. This is the time more than ever before today to put yourself out there. If you're not doing it yet now, and I tell my students the same thing, I say, hey, are you posting your singing stuff on TikTok? Are you posting yourself online? No. Why not? I don't know. Well, yeah, if you don't know and I don't know, then that makes two of us. Do it. Go right now. Yeah. You don't have to put makeup on. You don't have to do this. Just take your phone like this, just in front of your face, and record yourself doing something real quick and post it.
Yeah. You don't need any special equipment. You don't need any special background. You don't need any knowledge in the app. You just click record and you do it, and you just keep doing it, and you keep putting yourself out there, putting what you love out there. And honestly, eventually you will succeed. But I find that the less you look for quote unquote success, the more you get it. Because
yep, I actually have that's something. So I recently had a TikTok. I don't want to say go viral, but it got a decent amount, and it wasn't me singing or anything. It was just me talking. And it was right after I had a really bad day in music. Just to sum up that, because this happened a month ago now, I was meeting with a label in the UK who I had been talking back and forth with for a while, and they kind of ghosted me. We had a Zoom meeting like this, and they didn't show up, and this was the second time that it happened. So I said to myself, I was like, I'm done. So I emailed them and I cut it off with them. I basically just was sorry, but this isn't going to work out. And that, I kind of had my hopes up. I was like, oh, this, I'm talking with a label that maybe this is going to do something. And then it didn't happen. And I'm looks like I'm going to be independent for a little while longer. And I'm that's a good thing, but also it's a really hard thing. And I'm I don't know. And then my song that's coming out on Friday, Make Me Stay, I was sending it out to some people on Submit Hub, which I've kind of not stopped using that now, but for early feedback, because I just wanted to see what people thought of the song. And I got a lot of negative feedback on it. And I woke up to 10 emails of just being this sucks, basically. And it was just not a good day. So I made a video and I was crying, and I'm hey guys, how do you keep going? Because this is really hard. And a lot of people, I don't know. I don't even know. I haven't even got to read through all the comments, because it's thousands of people commented on this video, and they gave me really good, solid advice. I had some nasty comments, some people that are stop bitching, blah, 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 blah. But at the same time, it's dude, come on, you're telling me you don't go home and bitch to your wife or something? Like, you probably do. So, you know.
The most annoying thing.
Yeah, I know. Like, we all bitch. We're human beings. We like to talk shit and we like to bitch. And that is just the truth.
Talking about the heavier things, how has your mental health been throughout your music journey?
I would say it both hinders and helps it almost in a way. It's weird because it does make things really hard to just get moving and do anything. So it's almost like, I have depression, I have anxiety. I also am diagnosed bipolar, and that is still kind of like, where they're still kind of like figuring out if that's an accurate diagnosis for me or not, but it's like, it might be. So I don't know. That's just like full transparency with everything. So like, my depression will be like, you can't move. My anxiety will be like, we gotta go. And then I'm like frozen. Like, it's almost like a sleep paralysis in a way, where it's like, get up. And then it's like, I'm like, and I can't move at all. And then like, I don't know, like, just in general, it brings a lot of darkness, and then I'm just kind of stuck in this spiral, and it's hard. But then sometimes, even though when I say it helps, like the mental health stuff, I would say it's more so along the lines of like, it gives me some good lyrical content. Because when I'm feeling really down and depressed, and like, I come up with some baller stuff sometimes, you know, and then I'm like, okay, all right, you know, like, I hate you, but like, you know, we got something going here. So, you know, it's like, it is what it is. It's not healthy. I'm not saying it's a healthy thing by any means, but it's the reality of what it is.
And I think that's like so scary on one hand, because I think it's in one of Julia Michaels' songs. She sings about how like sometimes she feels like she sabotages relationships, or she's like, or me personally, I'm like attached with my ADHD or my depression or my anxiety because it creates this art. And like, what if you take that away? Is my art going to be worse?
Oh my God. So I am medicated. I think especially from a young age, when we start learning about shame and we start learning about what's acceptable and what's going to get us made fun of, blah, 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 we start like really quickly finding workarounds for our own mental illnesses to like appear normal in society and appear like we don't have these things going on, but we do. It's very real. We are still experiencing it on the inside, but it's almost, we're shaking a whole bottle and it's just like, it's fizzing up on the inside. And as soon as you would open that cap, it would like out of there. But it's like, the thing is, we're used to that. That's our normal now. Yeah. Not being normal is, I don't want to be like, I want to kill myself constantly. But at the same time, like, I don't want to just feel nothing, you know?
Yeah, no, I totally get that. And actually, my favorite artist is Youngblood, and he talks about this all the time.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
Right?
We're like, I feel like we have so many things in common right now. Like,
oh my God, I know. I'm like, did I just find like a soul link? Like,
I think we did. I think, guys, on this podcast right now, like, you are witnessing the birth of a soul link.
It's true. I feel like we could like talk for hours about these things, because like our experience, and that is something that music brings together. Our experiences are so different, but the feelings are so similar. You know what I mean? And I find that like, I love listening to music because I'm able to connect with these people from all over the world, from different ages and races and experiences. And I'm still able to connect with them through their music, whether we know each other or not.
It's such a great thing. And I've had people like reach out to me that I don't know from like different, like I actually had someone on Instagram reach out to me on Saturday from Brazil. He messaged me on Instagram. He's like, hey, I found your music and like, I'm like, I love it. Like I really connect with this. Like, I'm so glad I came across it.
It's like the best feeling. And like at the end of the day, I know whatever I do, like for example, let's take these podcasts. All I want to do is have at least one interview have an impact on one person, and I'll be happy.
Yeah. And I'm sure this one will. And I'm sure every single one that you do will and does. I feel like I'm just making friends. And like, if people want music, they hit me up. You know, they can pay me. I can eat, and they can get their music, and they don't have to spend $5,000 to have like a big star come do whatever they got to do for them, and everybody's happy. You know, so like sometimes that's success too. It doesn't. You don't. And everybody thinks like it has to be this big grand scale, but as long as you're eating and you're doing what you love, then you made it. You made it. So I consider that I made it.
I love what you're saying right now. Like, it's leaving me speechless.
Yeah, I mean, it's how I feel. You know, I've done a lot of soul searching, a lot of thinking. I've been in that position where I've been like, I'm never gonna make it, you know. And then I'm like, you know what? I'm done. I don't care. I'm just gonna do what I do, and whoever wants to come along for the ride, they're there.
Yeah, absolutely. Is there any like music that you have that inspires you?
Of my own music. Mm-hmm. You know, actually, it's funny, yes, because I'm inspired. I am inspired by it because it is actually about my mental health. It's like the song "Make Me Stay." It's literally saying like, "Make me stay in this world." You know, I think that if people listen to the lyrical content, they'll understand what I'm trying to do with this song.
Thing as deep as that, it uncovers layers, and that's so important. Like, we have so many layers to ourselves. So I'm really glad that that's something that's resonating with you and something that you made into reality. Do you have any advice to give to other artists and consumers of music?
Yes, I have a lot. I mean, I would say number one, like, and this is the hardest thing to do, the easiest thing to say is get out of your own head. I spent so much time writing that I would like erase what I wrote or like doubt myself for this and be like, this isn't good enough. This needs to be this. Just write. Put something down. I don't care if it's the best thing or not. You can come back and edit it later. But the most important thing is finish the thought, beginning to end, and then fill in the gaps. Like almost like what they had us do in school with the essays. Write your outline. Do that. Also, and this is a little something I'm stealing from Gary Vee, which is, I don't know if you guys know Gary Vee, but he's like an entrepreneur and he gives a lot of really good advice too. One thing he says is that one piece of content can be made into like a billion different pieces of content. Well, I think he says specifically like 60, but still like one song, like when we're promoting our music, guys, like we don't need to just do one thing. Like you could take the same thing and post it again, or a different clip of the same video, or put it with a different caption and it'll hit people a different way. Like that's another thing. Also, another thing of advice is when you get negative comments, I would say just try to let it roll off your back, or you could do what I do and make a hate comment series, and then you get a lot of other views. That's another thing. Also, just don't, like, if people ignore you on social media, which it happens, you know, like I know that we all, like, we'll post a selfie, it'll get 100 likes. We'll post our song's coming out on Friday, we get like 7. And it happens. But when that happens, don't be discouraged and be like, everybody hates me. It's just that you haven't found your audience yet. And you will find them. But, you know, you might have to do some digging first, but just don't give up. Don't worry about anything like the way you look, your age, your race, your gender, whatever. Just do your thing, because the world needs you. We need new people. We need different faces. I'm trying to internalize everything I'm saying every day. You know, like I know all these things logically, doesn't always click in here, but these are things that I'm saying out loud that I keep trying to make a reality within myself. So I hope some of that helped somebody.
That's amazing.
Stay alive and follow your dreams.
Tomorrow's a new reality. It's true.
It is. It is. Even 5 minutes from now is a new reality.
Yes. Also true.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to wrap it up here. Thank you so much for being here today and sharing all your experiences.
Guys, just, you know, support Angie, support Music Mentality, because I really love what you're doing on here. I love that you kind of combine the mental health aspects and the struggles of artistry, but also the beautiful things about it. And just kind of, we get to talk about so many great things here. Like I haven't got to talk about any of this with anybody. So tell your friends about this podcast. I'm telling you.
Like, you've had such great insights, and like, I know that there's so much more left to say. So like, it'd be awesome to have you back here one day.
Yes, have me back.
I just want to mention that you can find Melody's music by typing in Melody Cruz on Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon Music, and most or all other digital streaming platforms.